Hi, my name is Shirley, and this is my presentation on my object-oriented programming game based on Dungeons & Dragons. So today I'm going to run through the game's object classes, the underlying data that it uses, and also do a quick demo of this game. So I guess I'll just get started. So overall, this game has a fairly circular storyline. So what we'll do is start with character creation. We'll run through all the collecting of the character inputs, create the character, and a main menu where the player will have a chance to choose what they want to do next. So they can either exit game, pretty simple enough, check their stats. So that's a summary of either the stats they create throughout at the beginning of character creation or stats that they ultimately start accumulating when they start gaining buffs to their stats. They also have a chance to shop for items. So items will have stat buffs that will increase their stats, as well as have a cost that will reduce the amount of GP that they have. They also have a chance to explore the dungeon. The dungeon consists of 2 levels, one being a puzzle that will compare against the character's intelligence stat. Whether or not they pass will determine whether or not they need to go and restart or continue on to battling with the monster. So with the monster section, the player will be fighting against a monster where you will be doing a strength check. Each monster is randomized. The level of difficulty is also randomized. So the comparison between the character's strength check and the monster strength can determine whether or not the player character wins or dies. But there is also an element that if the character is unable to beat the monster's strength, they have a 50-50 chance of being able to escape and get to the main treasure, or also die. So they also have a choice in that. So if they defeat the monster, if they defeat the monster or manage to escape the monster, they will win and get a treasure. In which case they can return the main menu. Otherwise, they will lose. And when a character quote unquote loses in D&D, it means that their character has died. So the game will end and the program will terminate. So with that, this is the implementation. So we have a class dungeon where it will initialize the puzzle, monster, and treasure that the character will be able to collect. Humanoid is the wrapping class for both player character and monster. So the player character will store the stats of the character that the user is, and then the monster is the player that the human will try to fight against. The item contains the buffs that will increase the character's stats. And also there are the shops, which will store item objects, and the player will be able to purchase items from the store. And then there is a big game class in which the storyline occurs and calls for all of the classes and initializes everything, stores everything. There's also an underlying data set here. So with this data set, this is where the randomization occurs. We can these are the races that the player can choose from with their associated starting stats. Also, classes have their associated starting stats. So these stats will be added together for the character. These are the items in which the characters can buy. They're randomized. So like the store or treasure will show up as like any one of these, and each name has an associated price, strength, and intelligence stat. There's also the monster that is also randomized in the dungeon, and that should be it. All right, so we can get on to the demo. All right, so here I will run through a quick demo of how the storyline works. I'm going to start our Python file here. So what's the character's name? My character is Anastasius. Anastasius is an elf cleric. So you can see here that each race has their starting stats, and each class also has their starting stats. So with that, we can get a quick summary of what we have. Anastasius, elf cleric, 2 strength, 6 intelligence with 25 gold pieces to start with. We have no items as the game has just begun. So what we can do is say, I don't really have a lot of strength here, so I can go to shop and purchase something to increase strength. So I can check, I have 25 gold pieces, so I'm just going to buy the Slicer to Pureware Isles, buy 1. So with that, I can purchase and continue back to the main menu. I'm going to explore the dungeon now. You make your way through the corridor and you find yourself at the end of the hallway. You feel your way around the wall, then your walls touch the edge of something. You've reached the puzzle. Let's try solving it. You got it. Get 5 GP. All right, right now an ogre has appeared. So what this means here is my strength check is not high enough to defeat this ogre, but I'll have a 50-50 chance to survive should I continue. Or if I run, I can return to the main menu. I'm feeling brave, so let's continue. It looks like I've made it. I make a mad dash to the room. The door slams shut behind me. I walk into the center of the room. I've solved the puzzle. It looks like I've just won a pike and also 132 gold pieces. And now I've returned to the main menu. And from here, you can check stats to see that our character sheet has updated to include all the things that we've just gotten. So I've gotten the Slicer to Pureware Isles from earlier, the pike, and also the gold pieces that I've earned from solving the puzzle and the dungeon. So you turn to the main menu, you can exit game, and that's it. As I said earlier, there are several more storylines. This is kind of like one possible run through that a user can experience. So that was my presentation on my Dungeons and Dragons game. Thank you so much.